the issue of Zimbabwe?
Yeah. We've got to approach the issue of Zimbabwe somewhat dispassionately. Leave our emotions out of it and deal with the facts. What are the facts? The facts are there is, without any doubt, an influx of people from Zimbabwe into Botswana. They end up taking up the most menial of jobs. As a matter of fact, many of the jobs that they end up taking are jobs that our own people are not desirous. There's no serious appetite on our citizens for these jobs. And there's nothing wrong with not liking a particular job. And therefore, when an opening arises, you're not interested. But we also must acknowledge that there will be somebody else, either out of desperation or whatever reason, who will be interested in taking this job. And so that person comes in, without any doubt. How did this person come in? They came in illegally. But they are doing the job. They are already here. What do? We can choose to spend money and send this person back. The moment you leave this person at the border, they cross back and by the evening they are here. So are we succeeding? No. How then do we deal with this situation? We could deal with it and when they are illegal like that, because they are hiding, they end up involved in crime. They end up exploited. And this exploitation makes it even more unappealing because they will take this job for next to nothing. And so the employers, those who have these jobs, who are hiring them, prefer them to citizens because the citizen will want more. So there is a demand for people who will work for a pittance. So they themselves are exploited. Why are they exploited? They are outside the protection of the law because in the first place, when they came in, they placed themselves outside the protection of the law. So we want to deal with this thing and say, let us allow you to come in legally. This is not to go and invite and say, just come and run us over. No.
It means you are not saying open borders.
No. We're not saying that. We are saying we recognize the challenge. Let us deploy strategies and approaches that are appropriately fashioned to deal with so that they do not pose a security risk to us and to our people. Then they can be within the law. They can be controlled either by way of a temporary work and residence permit or a much longer term work and residence permit. We can control, we can manage them, we can account for them.
How are you going to resolve this problem where South Africa can't export some of the products to Botswana?
Yes, it's an issue that is capable of causing problems if it hasn't already. We are members of a customs union. There are certain rules and regulations governing members or parties to a customs union agreement. There's a dispensation there in which nascent industries are protected. There are guidelines, bright lines on how this protection is invoked. The question then would be whether Botswana, in doing what it has done, which is impose the ban, has operated in accordance with the requirements of the agreement and is protecting any nascent industry in accordance with the terms of the agreement. If that is not the case, then we need to go back to what the agreement provides. But aside from the agreement, we have a relationship, a neighborly relationship. South Africa is our trading partner. I think Botswana is South Africa's biggest trading partner. So we offer them a market. We, together with South Africa, will sit down and determine what our interests are, what their interests are, and how we can move towards each other and find some workable accommodation in terms of which we will agree. If there is a ban, because we want to protect an industry that is only emerging. This is how we want it done, and it is known and it is accepted. So if we act unilaterally, then we create a problem. If they act unilaterally, then they create a problem. So we need to come together and discuss, and that is what the customs union actually
But SACU
dictates.
is almost dead.
Well, SACU is not dead. SACU revenues are being generated, except maybe the terms of the customs union are not being properly observed. That we will need to check, and that we will need to strengthen. If we need to renegotiate and improve in the context of the Africa Free Trade Agreement, in the context of envisaged trade relationships, tripartite between COMESA, between SADC and ECOWAS, then all these will have implications for the existing agreements. So we will need, and this is, it's part of engagements between nation states. We'll go to each other. We discuss and we say, we must resolve this. There's a problem. We don't know what the nature of the problem is. We need to sit together and agree how we handle this problem. I think between Botswana and South Africa, there's no shortage of capability to resolve these issues and resolve them amicably. And indeed, between Botswana, even between Botswana and Zimbabwe, if there's a niggling trade issue, we will discuss it and we will resolve it. So what is important, and this is what I keep raising, because I've said this government, this administration, this people's administration must be agile. It must be quick to realize there's a problem and to examine accurately, using evidence, the nature of the problem, diagnose, and then do a proper strategy and implement, evaluate, and make sure that the strategy works. If it doesn't work, change it. But we need to address problems in a manner that is proactive, that is agile. And so in relation to those, we're going to get off quickly to deal with all these problems and try and resolve them, because we need to build this economy. We need to turn it around and turn it around quickly.
You invited opposition parties in the SADC region. What was the reasoning behind it?
It's democracy. That's the reasoning. They are part of the democratic process. They are part of peacekeeping and the maintenance of peace and harmony in their respective countries. If they are not recognized, if they are not appreciated as part of the democratic process, then we are creating a situation for other than democratic means of accessing power. So once you have them come and they realize we are part of this, we are the opposition, we are now in power, other countries must realize at some point the opposition will be in power. Do you want to have angry people, vengeful people because you abused them, come into office and start doing the same to you? No, there's no need to abuse each other. Even aside from political competition, there's no need. So we need to appreciate all of them, appreciate the ruling parties as well as those who are aspiring to rule, because they will be in power one day. And there's nothing better than having all of them at one table laughing, and then they go and compete.